Come to Remora TC to trade like a shark and not get eaten by one. Let's school together to protect and grow our money. Hi everybody, Happy New Year. Welcome back to my channel. It is Tuesday, January 6th. We've got plenty of things to review as we go into the year. The 7 or so tickers that we've been tracking for the past couple of months. And I've added one at the end for us to review as a long setup for those who want to buy at a low price and wait for the appreciation in price before selling. So let's start things off with the triple Qs. You can see that over the past few months, there's been a lot of consolidation in the triple Qs. And price has been behaving along this gap fill zone, which I've annotated in yellow. You can see that additionally, where I've annotated some resistance here, and price is continuing to behave along this resistance zone. Let me just move it over like this. My annotation is really not changing at all. The overall prediction is to the downside. There is no change in momentum that would have me inform you that you want to buy back in. So for now, if you're in triple Qs long, take your profits. I've been saying that for a while. I'm just going to slide my annotation to the right because the overall direction is unchanged for triple Qs. The 200-day is down here for those who are paying attention to it. This is my prediction of where it'll be. And then the next likely area of support will be down here along this long-term trend line. Let's switch to the gold miners play, GDX. You can see that it has been moving upwards despite all of this negative divergence down here. But despite the price action moving up, it continues to have bearish divergence. So with this all-time high here, you can see price action is higher from this point compared to this point here on the 26th of December. But what that's done is furthered the bearish momentum down here. Let me just annotate it like this, okay? So it's just an increase, a magnification of the bearish momentum. Again, this is not the time to go long. I am still keeping my annotation that price will tumble. It will continue to tumble. It will tumble, begin to tumble. Let's switch over to the Bitcoin index, BTCUSD. I talked about this one for the past month or so, my prediction that price will go down to about 58,000. And my prediction is unchanged. You can see that the recent price moves have come into resistance along here. I'm going to keep that resistance drawn there. At the moment, we can delete this one. There you go. And right now we're playing in this zone. I'm going to slide this over. Actually, I'll leave it. Really, my annotation is unchanged. It doesn't look real clean with regard to how I drew it because I wrote very largely here my prediction. But really, I'm not changing it, okay? The momentum change isn't significant enough. I think it's really a retest of resistance. It may come up to this purple trend line as additional resistance until it fails again. But anyway, I'm just going to leave it like this. The main direction is to the downside based on all of this divergence down here, okay? And the flagging action. All right, so there we have it, unchanged to the downside. Switching to Microsoft, I talked about the double top here, and then you can see how prices continue to come down and created this flag. With the flag, I informed everybody that there is resistance up here, in which case you can see that price did indeed heed that, got rejected below the bottom edge of the flag. And then you can see a little bit of a additional flag taking place here at the 200-day. Let's zoom in to kind of analyze this a little bit more carefully. So the 200-day is right here, this light blue line. And you can see, switching to the hourly, so here's the hourly, how price has flagged back into the 200-day, okay? And the way I would annotate this in the short-term flag will look something like this. Short-term flag, like that. Let's just make it a little bit thicker just so that we can review it more clearly, like that. And the other edge of the flag would go, I'm just freehanding this, something maybe like this. Okay. So this is the new flag, shorter flag. I'll duplicate this one, clone it, slide it down to where it will break, probably somewhere over there. Anyway, you can see that the overall direction remains to the downside. That's at the hourly perspective. The main thing for all of us, and generally I don't talk about the hourly, is on the daily, is that the overall move is really down to 406 down here. That really is the move. So right now, if you're long Microsoft, continue to take your profits. Don't add to your position long, because you can wait and get a nice discount down here. The question, though, is once it enters this gap fill, this gap zone, will it have any bullishness to stay above it, or will it continue to the bottom edge of the gap? So that's the danger for those who are going long on Microsoft. So right now, just wait. Take your profits if you want. You would have, I told folks to take profit up here, actually all along here. So, all right, let's switch over to Northrop. Northrop has behaved differently. The price action is quite erratic, okay? It's erratic because it's busting through what I thought was resistance here. I've talked about this resistance zone here for a while. And in fact, it has broken through it with not very convincing volume. Okay, so I'm going to zoom out here. Have a look down here at these volume candles. Okay, you can see that the volume has been waning. And you can also see that the price action over the past couple of days, you could barely see the candles. Okay, so when I zoom in, let's look at, this is January 2nd. January 2nd is 550,000, 480,000 shares. And then yesterday was 940,000, which is, decent, but not like these candles here, which is at 1.1, and this one is at 2.4. So the price action is, people are buying shares at a premium. And then today's move is 997,000 shares, but you can see there's more red candles. So overall, my prediction remains to the downside, but I do have to change how I drew this, because really it doesn't look clean at all. The general move is to the downside. I think what Northrop might attempt to do is make a double top like Microsoft and some of the other tickers like GDX. GDX, I think, is making a double top as well. So if I were to clean this up, give me a second. Let's clean this up. Revisit the charts, the charting, the annotations. The momentum remains to the downside. I'm not changing the momentum because there is no momentum change. But it's just the price action just makes it look not clean the way I drew it. But really, it hasn't changed. So here, let's zoom out. I'm attempting to be as objective as I can for you, putting my ego aside. There shouldn't be ego here. Okay, look at this. So this is the bottom edge of a triangle. So let's annotate this as a bottom edge of a triangle. Okay, you can see it. So price moved down, bounced off of this. So I missed that. But it's really because, yeah, I just missed it. So to be honest, I make mistakes. So there is the bottom edge of a wedge, pizza wedge. And so that posed support. And now price is back up above here. Okay, that's fine. So zoom out. Let's move this fish up out of the way real quick. The fish here, let's delete it. Okay. So if I were to draw this from here. All right. So for today, I'm updating this to look like this, okay? So what you see is, you see a one right here, one reaction along this trend line. This is the second one. So 2 points really doesn't make a trend, okay? So I'm going to make this a dashed line for now. I'm not super convinced that it's a trend line. So I'll go like that. But what I do want the reason why I'm putting it in here is because it may come up here to make a second top. Okay, so the first shark is here. If it comes up here to make a double top, okay. So right now, I'm not convinced that this is an opportunity to go long. I'm not. In fact, I'm going to move this line up here as a resistance zone. Just kind of drag it out here like this. Resistance. This is not the time to go long, okay? So if you're thinking about going long on Northrop, I wouldn't recommend it. From where we are today to this red resistance zone, about 4.5%, okay. It's possible to get up there before the resumption to the low side, okay? And earnings is coming on the 27th of this month, so January 27th. Okay, so I'm going to put a resistance zone up here. That's resistance. And we're going to track it. So right now, don't go long. The long would have been perhaps at the above this purple trend line, if you could get it cleanly, but they gapped it. So let's annotate the gap as well. They did a gap here. So there is a gap. All right. That's Northrop. Switching to the two financials behaving as I predicted, that it'll come up to this resistance zone up here. You can see price coming back up here. It'll get rejected here. It'll continue to get rejected. The momentum remains to the downside. And my prediction is down to 277. Okay. That's American Express. The other one is Bank of America. Same behavior, right? Price moving back into resistance with continued bearishness here. There you go. More bearishness. Price is moving. It will move down to the bottom part of the wedge here. Excuse me, the rising wedge. Rising, yeah. It's a really thin wedge. Rising wedge. Price will move down. Ultimately, lower prices is the general direction. Okay. Yeah, I really think it'll come down here to about 38. All right, so those are the tickers that we've been reviewing over the past month or so. Let's look at the brand new one, Proctor Gamble. This is one of the few long setups. So let's take a look at this, analyze this carefully, because I think most of you want to go long on trades. Let's switch to the weekly chart to get a feel for how things look. I want us to look at this trend line right here, this one, okay? So it's right there. Notice how on the weekly chart, there's all these touches along it, okay? from the underside here, when price came over, convincing sell down, attempt to reclaim, got rejected, eventually came back above, support, support, support all along here, support all along here, and now it's coming right back down to support. Switching to the daily view, so this trend line that's been providing support has been doing so for, let's see here, since back here, which is January of 24. So that's a year of support. Okay. So this has been support for a year. It failed here, which was early December, and then it reclaimed it, and now it's above it, above this line here. I'm going to make it 2 pixels, make it a little bit thicker for you. And what I want to highlight is all of this bullishness down here. Okay, the RSI has been telling us that a change in momentum is coming. This is the first location where price sold down below. And this is where the price action is meant to get the traders confused. And you can see that it reclaimed this trend line, and here it is kissing it again. So I'm going to put this in green. This is all an opportunity to go long, anywhere along this trend line. Okay, so I'm going to, in fact, take a long position myself, giving it another week. What I want to see is perhaps price continue to go along here. And I think what they're going to do is, with earnings coming up on the 22nd, so that's in a couple of weeks, that they're going to give it, price is going to come down to this 138 and even slightly below it. And what's going to happen is it's going to cause a double bottom. So this will be one bottom, and there will be a future bottom, let's say on earnings or after earnings. It'll be a little bit further down, okay? And what that will do is, this is a low, this will be a further low, and that will cause bullish divergence down here again, and that would be the opportunity, a nice opportunity to go long. It's possible they'll even push it down here to 135. So from where we are now down to 135. All right, so not very far, 3.5%. It's possible to take it down there, make a double bottom, right? Thereabouts. And then that would be a beautiful entry long for all of us who are bulls. Now, you might say, well, who's Procter & Gamble? Does it matter? Well, this is a healthcare stock, right? It's one of those rotation things. I'm sure they're going to come up with news to tell us that it's time to sell. And look, even here it says, hey, Wells Fargo says, they're overweight. Should we be worried with Procter & Gamble? They're going to say things to create liquidity for them, for the whales to buy back in. So I'm going to put the whale signal here that the whales are wanting to come back in. And for those of us who are following my trading strategy, this is the, give me a second here, I'm looking for the annotations here. What's here? They changed how where everything's located. So I put another whale here, okay? And due to all this bullishness down here, and likely they'll do it again here, and we can put a second whale here, okay? So look for this as a long entry. So the question is, where is the exit if you take a long? If you take a long down here, let's say you take a long along here, or maybe even down here. Not a perfect entry, okay? Up to the 200-day, that might be, I don't know, it depends where we hit the 200-day. So we could hit the 200-day somewhere out here, right? The 200-day would kind of go like this. It'll make a curve. So I'll just kind of draw it. It'll be kind of like a curve. So if it's a curve in this situation, make it blue. It might be a 12% move, and then it'll be a further move. I think it'll begin a positive trend upward, okay? But this is one of the few tickers that the long setup is presenting itself, so pay attention and keep watch for price action down in this 135, 136, 137 area, okay? So those are the tickers to start off the year. I wish you luck and the ability to protect your winnings this year so that you can have the money where you need it so that you can accomplish your financial goals. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe, click the bell icon, share the material with your friends, and really let me know what you want me to review and I'll do it. So put a comment in for me. All right, all the best, and I'll see you next time.